Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we are going to be working on our admin panel. We've been working a lot on our dashboard page and kind of on the user side. I thought now is a good time to kind of change things up and start working a little bit on our admin dashboard, mainly because it's kind of useless right now. We just have an admin page, we can go in, but we just get this admin panel. Okay, so what we are going to be working on is basically adding a navigation like what we have on our user side to the admin panel, and then we will add the ability to view all the users on the website, all the ideas, maybe all the comments, add a little bit of additional functionality to it so we can monitor the website, maybe see what the users have done, delete users, delete comments, or maybe delete inappropriate ideas, things like that. Basic stuff that you would expect from most admin pages. Okay, so let's get right into it. Now for today's video, we're going to start super simple. We're just going to add the navigation and implement the users page, and then on the upcoming episodes we're going to do all the additional stuff I talked about. So let's get right into it. I don't want to bore you guys to death. Let's get started. So now we already have our admin page. What I'm going to do, guys, is first move our navigation on the left to also be inside our admin panel. Now the links are going to be different, so we need to create a custom nav or left side nav for our admin. Now I think previously we had our nav inside this shared folder. I think it's the left sidebar, yeah, this one. Now we can create our admin left sidebar inside this shared folder, but I think since we already have our admin directory, I'm going to go ahead and create a new shared folder inside here, which is going to be used for everything that is shared inside the admin section of our website, so we don't accidentally use it on the user side. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy this left sidebar that we already have, and I'm going to paste it inside here. Okay, that's it. And let's remove, I guess, 2 of these links so we know that we are using the admin one, and I'll change this to dashboard. Okay, so now that we have done that, we need to go ahead and actually include the left sidebar under our dashboard. And this is also really easy to do. I'm just going to go ahead and copy it from our existing users dashboard. So I'll just come over here outside the admin folder, open our existing dashboard, and I'll just copy the code we have for this content section. So let me copy that and I'll paste it. I guess I will override the existing dashboard we have, content section we have. So let's save this. Let me minimize the left sidebar. Now, by default, this is a 3-column layout. So I'm going to minimize all the divs so it's a bit easier to see. Because I have zoomed in for the video, it is a bit harder to see everything. But basically, we have these 3 columns. For the admin panel, I want it to be a 2-column layout. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this last div we have. So for the 3rd column. And in order to actually make the kind of 2nd column take full width, we need to go ahead and update this 6 to a 9. Okay. And the main reason for that is Bootstrap kind of layout has 12 columns. So you need to make sure, if you want to take the entire full page, you need to make sure these columns add up to 12. Okay. So this one is 3 and then 9 going to be 12. And last but not least, on this side, we have a bunch of stuff on this kind of middle column or on the dashboard page, users dashboard page. I'm going to remove all of these as well, so it's empty. And let's see what we have here. And so this is where we had our initial kind of users left sidebar. So let's save this first and make sure it works. And I'll add a simple edge here. I'm going to say admin dashboard, so we know what page we are on. So let's save this. Let's go back. And if I reload, as you guys can see, we get the users left sidebar, and then we also get this. And again, it's a nice looking 2-column layout. So now that we have this, we can go ahead and actually replace this with this new left sidebar we created, which is inside our admin panel. And all we have to do is just add the admin up front. Okay, so we are using the admin version, not the users version. So let me reload. And as you guys can see, we are indeed now using the admin version. Now the links are obviously wrong. It's still referring to our homepage. That's okay. We will fix that in a second. So let's go ahead and set that up. Now, I'm going to first open up our route file. And as you can see, we right now have at the bottom of the page, we have this admin route. And the way we define it, guys, is we have basically admin as a prefix and then followed by the page, name. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead for now, copy this and update our left sidebar to actually use the correct routes. So right now it is using the old dashboard or the user's dashboard. So I'm going to update it so it uses the updated admin dashboard. So let's save this. Let's test this out. So as you guys can see, now it is indeed working. So the next step for us is to go ahead and create these additional routes that we need. So let's go back to our route file. And the way I've done it so far, guys, we've done it so far. We always create a route file, controller views, and then we implement the pages. So let's go ahead and set up the route file. Now, since we are going to have quite a few routes inside under kind of the admin prefix, I'm going to go ahead and use a route group to make our life a little bit easier. Make sure all of them have this middleware. If we accidentally forget to include the admin middlewares, we might have some security issues. So it's usually good to have your own admin route group. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that. I'm going to do route. Now, the way I showed you guys, I'm going to do it slightly different now, using a different syntax so you guys can see how it's done. But we can go ahead and also add the middleware right here on the route. So I'm going to say middleware and copy what we had here. So let me copy this. I'll add it over here. And then go ahead and add the prefix, which is going to be a prefix added to the name. Sorry, a prefix added to the routes over here. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it here, /admin. Next up, I'm going to add as, and this one is going to be also another prefix, but it is going to be a prefix added to all the names. Okay, so it's going to add, let's say, if I cut this and I'll add it here, it's going to add admin dot to all the route names under that route group. And I think that's all we need for now. So let's go ahead and convert this into a group. And the way groups work, you need to pass it in a closure or an anonymous function. I'll just do that right away. And inside this closure, we can go ahead and define all the routes we need. So let me, I can remove this middleware now. Let me cut this and I'll paste it inside the route group. So what's going to happen now is this route is going to have all these settings or configs we have added automatically applied to it. So it's going to have the prefix of /admin. This means we can remove this here. So it's going to be just that. We don't even need that, but it doesn't really make a difference in Laravel. It is also going to have this admin dot name prefix added to all its names, and all of them are going to have this middleware as well. So only admins can access it, as well as they need to be logged in. So let's save this. Let's make sure everything still works. This shouldn't really have a change on the functionality. It still works. As you guys can see, if I were to add this admin here, it now won't work because the route will become admin. Okay. So you do need to make sure you remove that, because we added this prefix. Okay, so let's save this, guys. I'm going to go ahead and add one more additional route. Let's call it users. And instead of having it be dashboard, I'm going to also name it users. So this is going to be our admin users page. Now, for the actual controller, we could technically still use the admin kind of dashboard controller. But since later on, as I mentioned, I want to add the comments and ideas as well. I think it's going to make our dashboard controller a little bit too crowded, and we're kind of overloading it with too many functionalities. So I'm going to go ahead and create its own controller. Okay, we can use the PHP artisan command, or we can just create it here ourselves. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a new file, and I'm going to name it user controller. You can also go ahead and prefix with admin user controller. This depends on the project. Generally, since we are already inside the admin folder, I don't do this that often. So it depends on the project, but generally I'm going to just go ahead and name it user controller. We already know it's part of the admin because of the admin directory. And let's go ahead and do .php. And for now, I'll just copy everything from our admin dashboard and I'll put it inside the user dashboard. Okay, so let's save this up. We also need to convert this to user controller, and that's all. Okay, so that's all we have to do. Let's remove all the additional files from the top of the page. I'm going to also close the dashboard as well. Let's go back to our route, and now we can go ahead and have this actually use our new controller we created. So I'm going to say user controller. Now, if you're on PHP Storm or VS Code and you have the appropriate plugins, guys, it will actually tell you which one you're importing. Okay, so this one is from app HTTP controller. What we want is app HTTP controllers admin. Now, VS Code is smart enough. It already knows that we have imported user controller, right? Because we have our user routes. So it proposes to add the admin prefix here. So it's going to be as admin user controller. So I'll do that. And as you can see here, it becomes admin user controller. You need to make sure you do that. Otherwise, you're going to have a conflict because we have another user controller. So you do need to be careful about that. Or alternatively, you could have named all your admin controllers with an admin prefix. That's also a neat solution. Again, it depends on you. Right now, because on the videos I have everything zoomed in, I prefer the names to be shorter. So that's up to you guys, but this solution works just fine. You just need to be careful and always pay attention to the namespace, okay? So now that we have that, that's all we have to do. We're good to go. We can go ahead and open up our admin sidebar and add our new user's link. So I'm going to click on the admin left sidebar, open it up, and copy the existing link we have, add a new one. I'll name this users, and I'll update the route to be admin users as well as admin users here. And I think that's all we have to do. So let's save this. Let's go back. I'll do a quick reload, and now we have this users link. And if I click on it, it still brings us to the same dashboard page because we don't have this users view file yet. So now the next step for us is to go ahead and create the view files for it. It's the exact same thing we have done a couple of times. So I'll just go ahead and quickly do that. So first I'll come on the controller, I'll update the view file. It's going to be admin users.index. So we are following the exact same format and structure we've been doing for the regular route. So if I go ahead and open up our user controller, and this can get a little bit confusing, guys, I know, but basically here we've had, let's say, users show, things like that. It's going to be the exact same thing. We just had, now we will, from now on, we will have the admin prefix, okay, so they don't get confused with each other. So let's go ahead and create this new view file. I'll go to our view folder. Under the admin, I'll create a new folder of users, and inside here we are going to add index.blade.php. And again, guys, index was the name we used to, you know, show all the items for a resource or a model. So that's going to be the name we're going to be using. So now that we have that, I think we're good to go. I'll just copy the content from our dashboard page and put it inside the users page, and just change this from, I guess, admin dashboard to users. Okay, that's it. So let's save this. I'll close all the extra files for now, so it's a bit easier for you guys watching the video. So let's save this. Let's go back. And if I reload, as you guys can see, now we get users. So we have done the boring stuff so far. These are not necessarily new, but we just had to make sure we have, you know, the admin prefix before all the routes, all the views, and all the controllers. Now that we have done that, let's go ahead and add a table over here and display all the users we have on the website. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to add a simple quick table right now, guys. So I'm just going to go ahead, quickly do it. TR, let's do TH for table head. And what I can do is, I think I'm going to go ahead and add the user's name or ID, name, and let's say email, as well as, I guess, when they joined the website or created at. Let's make this joined at. Created at doesn't really make sense from an admin perspective. And then I'll add a section for a couple of action buttons, maybe view the user, maybe edit them for the edit page. So now that we have the T head, we also need to go ahead and add the T body for the table body, and exact same thing, but instead of TH, we are going to use a TD. And we have 5 columns, so I'll just add 5 empty spots for now. We will populate these in a second. So let's save this. Let's go back. Let's see how it looks. We do have the table. It looks kind of ugly, so we need to go ahead and give it the appropriate tables. Now we are using Bootstrap 5 on this project, guys. As long as you haven't changed the, you know, the styling, you can just go ahead and add table here. That's it. So if you just add the class table to your table element, that should actually fix the table look. Okay, now it should be a proper table. And I personally would like to customize a little bit more. We can go ahead and do a table. I think it's called striped. I could be wrong. And yeah, so what this does is basically every other table will be a bit will have a different color. Okay, so that's very nice. And one more thing I would also like to do is on our T head, add another Bootstrap class called table dark, and this just makes this specific row darker. Okay, so let's reload. That's all we have to do, and I think it looks a bit nicer now. And before we end it, I'll add, I guess, margin top of 3. Okay, so it's not so close to the users, and hopefully now it looks slightly better. Okay, now we're good to go, guys. Now that we have our table, we need to actually fetch some real data. So let's go ahead, open up our user controller and pass in all the users we have on the website. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, create a new variable. I'm going to name it users. We are going to use our user model. Make sure you import the model. So I have already imported it. And now we are going to, we can order it. So to fix that, I'm just going to say latest to get all the latest users. So it's going to sort it by created at. So it's going to show the latest users first. And last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and say paginate. Okay. Now, if we don't like, some people don't show the admins on the users page, you can go ahead and add a check for that as well. So exclude admins. It's up to you guys. I don't mind that. So I'm just going to go ahead and show all the users. But if you want, you can add any additional, checks you want over here. And for the paginate, I'm going to include 5 users for now. Probably want more than 5. 5 is a little bit too small, maybe 10 to 20. But we don't have that many users, so we might not get pagination button. So I'm going to set a low number. And now let's go ahead and actually pass this down to our view file. So I'm going to say users, and I'm going to use compact. You guys can use any approach you like. You don't necessarily have to use compact, but that's what we have been using so far. So let's save this. Let's go back to our table. And under our t-body, now that we have that users variable, we can go ahead and add a for each loop. Now, I'm not going to use for else because there's always going to be the admin itself. So we are never going to hit the kind of empty condition. So I'm just going to go ahead and use a for each loop for users as user. Move the for each at the bottom of the row we have. So now we should have our loop done. Okay, so we can go ahead inside these TDs and actually include all the user information. So the first one, as you guys can see, is the ID. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. I'm going to say user ID. And let's copy this so we don't have to type it in. So the next one is going to be the name. So let's add name. After that, it is email. Next up, we have joined at, which is actually the created at. Now, by default, I think created at also displays the time they joined. I don't really like that personally, so I'm going to go ahead and, because this is already casted as a Carbon kind of date time object, we can go ahead and run the following method on it called toDateString. And I'm not sure if we have covered this so far on the videos, guys, but basically what this does is it only gives us the date. Okay, it kind of automatically formats it for us to only show the date, and it's gonna exclude the time stamp. Okay, so it just makes it a bit nicer. It takes less time. And the last part, I'm gonna leave this one empty for now. Let's put, a hash or something. We will add a couple of links to maybe the view profile as well as an edit page. So let's save this. Hopefully everything works. Let's do a reload. And as you guys can see, we are now able to see the users on our website. Okay, and it is indeed sorted based on the time they joined the site. Okay, super simple stuff. Now, I think we have more than this. So let's also make sure we add the pagination links. So I'm going to minimize the table. Under the table, I'll add a quick div. And now we have done this multiple times, guys. Basically, we can just say users links to get the pagination links. That's it. So let's save this. Let's go back. And as you can see, now we get our pagination buttons as well. So as you can see, we can go to the next one, back, just like that. So super simple stuff. This isn't really, complex, guys. Obviously, we could add other things like search, maybe multiple sorting, things like that, but we're going to keep it super simple. So now that we have our table, let's go ahead and add a couple of action buttons here. Now, what we can do is generally what you would want to do on an admin panel is you want to create the view user and edit pages to be also on the admin section. But to save some time, we already have those pages. Okay, so we already have the view user page. So we can actually just go ahead and redirect the admin to this page, okay, and save us some time. But if you would like, you can definitely go ahead and repeat the same process we've done so far and create an admin users show page and show the details for that one singular user, but on the admin side. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to go ahead and redirect the admin to the users section. And this is also going to be super easy. Let's minimize all the unnecessary data here. We can go ahead and add an A tag, and I'm going to say view, so we can view that user, and we can redirect them to users show to view a single user. Of course, we also need to pass in the user itself. So I'll just pass them in. And you can also do user ID. Both work. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and say user ID, but user alone will also work as well. Why not just keep it as user? So now if I reload, and as you can see, the links are here. Let's select test3 user. If I click on view, as you can see, we are redirected to their profile. Let's go back. Let's also add the edit page, and I'm going to put edit, and instead of users show, it is going to be users edit. Let's save this as well. I'll do a reload. I'll click on edit. And right now we're getting this action is unauthorized, which is good because we added kind of authorization. So in this case, if we want to give the admin the ability to edit the user, we need to update our user policy, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'll open up our user policy, which is going to be under app, policies, user policy. And the way we have it set up right now, guys, is only basically the owner or that specific user can only edit his or her own profile. So I think we can just add an additional check to check if the user is an admin and then allow them to edit. And we already have that under our idea policy. So I'll just copy it from here. So a user is admin and I'll paste it over here. Okay. And add an or. So either the user is an admin or it's their own profile. Super simple. Let's go back, and if we reload and we try again, hopefully now we are able to edit or view the edit page. As you guys can see, we are now able to edit this. Now, if you don't like to go ahead, as I mentioned, to do the editing on the user side, you would have to basically recreate this page on the admin side, right? So it's going to be, let's say, admin users edit. That's going to take a bit of additional time, but it's going to obviously be a bit more secure, and it's going to use your admin layout. So in this case, our admin and users have the exact same template, but on a lot of websites, the admin side might use a completely different template, a completely different layout. So in those cases, you may want to do that. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and use the user side that we have already created, save us some time, because the work is going to be quite repetitive, guys. It's going to be the same things repeated over and over. So I don't want to bore you guys with that, but you can definitely do that on your own time. All right, guys, so that's it for today's episode. Very basic, simple stuff. There wasn't much new things that we learned today. It's just the same things we have learned, but applied on a new setting. Now, if you want to do some additional exercise, definitely you can go ahead and recreate the user's edit and view page, but have them be under the admin directory or the admin route. So that can be an additional exercise you can do to see if you have actually learned these things. And then on the next episode, we are going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it for the ideas and comments. All right, so that's it, guys. Hope you learned something new. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section below. And I see you guys on the next episode. Have a great day. Bye.